Hi guys, welcome back. We are back at Lee's shop and he's showing us the stuff he's doing and a little bit of history. So Lee, thanks for actually inviting us to the shop.
Oh, yeah.
It's really nice to see the EK products and all the builds and everything, but I would really like to know how did you get into this stuff?
It's kind of a crazy story because it started off with my sister giving me a computer back in 2004, and here we are now 10, 11 years later, and this is where we're at. But I ended up running into a buddy of mine, Brian Jang. He used to work at ASUS, and I met him at one of the LAN fests that I went to. It was a LAN party where a bunch of geeks like us get together and play video games. And I asked him, you know, what is it that people look for in custom computers and stuff like that. And then I ended up meeting CPU Magazine at that same event, and we had a long conversation about custom mods and stuff like that, and it just kind of started something, because I've always been handy, you know, and then I just kind of took it and applied it to computers. Mm-hmm. So and as you can see, this is like what's going on now, you know, not just your everyday PC, but yeah. So I worked out of my garage for a long time as a hobby, mm-hmm. and then it quickly became more than a hobby, and to me it's still a hobby because I love to do this stuff, so it's not really to me a job, you know. But now we're in a shop. We've moved out of the garage, so I'm actually sharing the shop with my buddy David, who's the owner of Mainframe Customs. So he does like a bunch of sleeving stuff. You can buy all the supplies and stuff like that from him, which is awesome. So it kind of works out because I buy from him, so you know, it's even better. So you basically upgraded your skill to the level that you're able to sell your stuff. Yes. How do people find you? Where do you get your customers? Right now, my website is PCJunkieMods.com, so people can go there. I've been really slow to respond, so if you can bear with me, things will change. The website may be changing, where I'm actually going to try to. I'm gearing up to try to move toward pre-built systems, mm-hmm. But pre-built systems with a lot of options, you know. So you could actually choose to buy something like this instead of just your plain old Jane PC. Okay, but if somebody would go on your website now and order, there's a contact. There's a contact, so, yeah. So you deal this through email, stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. So it'll be an email chain back and forth for, you know, a couple emails till we figure out what they want. Okay, but once you settle up on the build, how much time it takes you before you, when you start and when you... So that depends. Like right now, if somebody contacted me for a build, it'd be probably 46 weeks. So yeah, because for one, if they want different color, like this case, you know, change the color, it's going to take at least a week for my guy to get it done. And then you're talking custom water cooling or sleeving, so it takes a little time. Yeah, so it's not only you have people to do stuff for you? Yeah, I have a couple people that help me out a lot. Dwight helps me out with not only doing camera work, but he also helps me out with sleeving, he helps me out with building. And you know, the 4 to 6 week is more of if I have more stuff going on. Like right now, I'm trying to get the Kitty project out of here. I also have another S-frame that has to go out. My buddy Sean Wicks from NVIDIA, his PC's got to go out. So this is Sean Wicks', this is my buddy Sean's personal PC here. Okay. What did you do with this one? So actually we changed the video cards out. We went from 3 Titan Blacks to 2 Titan X's. Was that the hard switch? Actually, it wasn't too bad. Dwight did most of the work though. He just basically pulled out the old video cards, drained it, pulled out the old video cards, and was able to drop these 2 in without bending any new tubes. And I made a change on the reservoir because having that tube up top like that, the liquid likes to fall into the reservoir, so it always sounds like waterfall. So I put one of the, you know, the drop tubes in it, so that way now it doesn't ever make the noise anymore. So I won't hear Sean tell me about it's still making noise. Yeah. You know. What about this? Actually, I see that you actually. So this PC is a surprise for somebody. My buddy Johnny Rodriguez actually commissioned me to do this PC. I don't want to say too much more other than that, but it just actually came back from paint. So as you can see, it has the Stormtrooper helmet, the weathered. This is like from the, I think one of the commanding officers in the Imperial Guard. His armor, he has the blue stripe on him, and it's all beat up and worn. And then on this side over here, you can see the emblem. So now I just got to build it. Got to put some more EK stuff in there, and we're good to go. So basically, if you have a customer really going for completely custom stuff,
you can offer him anything, paint
Yep,
jobs,
anything.
any kind of colors,
Yep.
changes of whatever. How much actually such computers cost?
So you know, it's hard for me to give you a number because a lot of times when I do, like, I contract a lot with Intel and Nvidia. So when I do builds with them, a lot of times they supply all the hardware.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, all the hardware is different prices, but like for something like that, it's about $2,000. That's just my labor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's not the water cooling parts. That's not, you know, your motherboard, your graphics cards, or none of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So this one's going to get some modifications, water cooling, the paint, and then sleeving. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Cool. So, okay, what I wanted to ask you next, you say that you do builds for Intel, Nvidia. How does this happen?
That's been a long road. You know, I went to a lot of shows, a lot of LAN parties, you know, like PAX. I've been to PAX, I've been to CES, I've been to a lot of LAN parties, LAN Fest, PDX LAN, and I've been doing that for, I think the first couple years I probably went to, just to give you an idea, I drove up to Washington like 4 times in 1 year. So actually I think it was in 6 months. You know, so I went, and then next week I went again, and then a couple months later they had the same event, so we went back, and then we went back again, and then,
You brought some of your rigs with you.
yeah, every time. The reason I was driving was to drive these commission builds. A lot of times I was working for Gigabyte or Cooler Master, so I would take the build up there because I just felt better hand delivering something than sticking it in a box and sending it, and then having to hear about how it doesn't work or whatever. So I just felt better in the beginning, hand delivering everything, because then every time I put it up on the desk, it would work. You know, so a lot of that pounding pavement per se, constantly go, has got me enough spotlight time, or whatever you want to call that, publicity, to get recognized and get introduced to the right people, and then get connected with these bigger companies.
Yeah. So it's not like some younger generations think it's enough to be online on the forums with the build logs, right?
No, you gotta. The return, you know, being CEO of EK, that the return of investment being just social media is not enough. You know, somebody like Linus Tech Tips is a different story, but for a guy that wants to do a mod that he's going to enter into some contest, or just wants to do a work log, in my book, in my eyes, is not enough to get to be able to send $1,000 worth of water cooling parts to somebody. You know, you got to get it in the public eye. I mean, 300, 400, 500 man LAN is a lot more publicity than just social media, because look at all the photos that get taken. You know, so your PC's at this event, CPU Magazine shows up, they do a roundup. A lot of times they'll walk around and take pictures. If maybe you don't win the mod contest, but you get in the magazine because of the fact that you were at the event, that's more publicity than an online, you know, you posting on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. You know, so my biggest thing is just, you know, do the social media, but make an appearance somewhere. You know.
But as I understand now, you're already between the judges on these events. You're actually giving you're saying which ones are the best ones.
Yeah, well, I mean, I help out. It's not my end say. You know, I'm not the one that actually gets to say, oh yeah, that's the winner. You know, so I've helped out with CPU Magazine before, where, you know, we'll go around, we'll talk to the individuals, take pictures of the rigs, and a lot of times we send them to Chris Trumbull, who is the one that says yay or nay on a PC. So he's asked me before, well, Lee, I like this one, what do you think of this one? And I agree with him, because a lot of times it's hard for him to see in the photo. You know, so, but he's the end decision. You know,
so and you don't want to give an email of his to the crowd, right?
Oh, no.
Too many
He's the one that responds to, you know, the what is it, the Mad Reader mod at CPU Magazine or whatever. If you look in the magazine, it says you can submit your rig here.
Okay.
That email, he's the one that responds to those most of the time.
Okay,
so yeah.
To sum it up, so you're saying your next plan is actually to go to some pre-built systems.
Yeah, with special orders.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like the pre-builds now. You got what, Falcon Northwest. You got Main. Main Gear.
What will be the difference between what you do and what they do?
I don't want to give away too much, but I want to offer more.
Okay.
You know, so obviously I have to take into account the time, or the individual that's ordering will have to take into account the time difference. From me building a regular PC, I can do probably, you know, a bunch in a day with a couple guys, right? Well, doing a bunch of custom modified PCs like what you see here takes a little more time because it takes more time for testing. You got leak testing and stuff like that. So, but what I want to offer is basically, let's say we're advertising this NZXT, whatever. I think this is a switch chassis. You can get it in whatever color you want. You know, you basically pick. You know, if you want it painted or you want it powder coated, it's totally up to you. Water cooling, you can make your choice. Do you want to do just CPU? Do you want to do dual GPU? Do you want to do triple? Do you want to do, you know, whatever?
So guys will actually get personalized system.
You can get flex tubing, you can get hardline tubing, you can get copper tubing. You know, obviously the prices vary and they change a lot. You know, but that is I want to take it to the next level. You know, I know some of the companies have already started to try to do that, but I don't really see you getting an option to get airbrushing done.
Yeah.
You know, the way you want, what you want, not a specific, you know, an Intel logo or something that they could easily put on there. But I mean, I got a couple guys that I work with for airbrushing, Ron Lee Christensen, my buddy Nano here locally. So those guys, you know, they've already agreed that, you know, they can handle the workload. So
okay, Lee, looking at this build, looks quite complicated. How did you do it?
So I've done a bunch of these S-frames. So what I did is I made a template set of tubes. It doesn't always work because if you change the motherboard, a lot of times the CPU socket's in a different location. But for the most part, like this one to the radiator is the same, and a lot of times this one here is the same to the GPUs, unless you end up doing 4-way or 2-way. But it's pretty simplified. It goes from the reservoir into the radiator, into the CPU, to the GPUs, and then back to the reservoir. So
you're basically cooling everything except the RAMs and the disks, right?
Yeah, so I've cooled everything but the RAM on this one, and the hard drives and the PCIe SSD.
Ah, I see you have the new one, right?
Yeah, so I got a Intel 750 series SSD inside the build here, and I actually have one here in my hand just to show.
Is it performing well?
Oh, it performs excellent.
Yeah,
so,
all the time?
All the time.
Cool.
So.
What about when it's getting hot?
Yeah, so that's I had a cooler made for one, but I don't know if that's really gonna cut it. You know, I'd really like to see it get water blocked at some point.
Something like that. We actually did it.
Oh yeah, something like that. There you go.
Intel actually asked us to basically do this for them because they wanted to experience the water cooling on the drives.
Wow, can you see that?
So they actually allowed us to use their design, and it's really looks like original, right?
Yeah, actually, I don't want to talk down about Intel's drive, but it's a little bit more shinier and stands out. The logo stands out a little bit more. So yeah, no, it's super awesome.
Yeah, so this will be available soon, and you will be able actually to add additional complexity to it.
Cool. That should just line right up too.
Yeah. I have to do the tubing a bit differently again.
Yeah, well hopefully maybe we can figure something out. Change it into a 3-way system, right? Nico, that's your job, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
So Lee, thanks for bringing us into the shop. It looks awesome.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
You can see that you can have some upgrades in the future.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
And you guys subscribe to both channels. Lee has a lot of cool stuff on his channel. We are trying to do more, so you're looking at it. And yeah, that's it. If you have any ideas what to do next, let us know in the comments and have fun.
Thanks for watching. Until next time.